Hi, I'm Ginger, and I've got a new story for you. But first, subscribe to the Private Diary channel and hit that like button. Mom and I lived in a cheap apartment on the outskirts of town. Mom opened a beauty salon in a basement. Well, I call it a salon, but paint was peeling off the walls. It smelled of cheap hairspray and was home to a family of shameless mice. Besides, the salon was operating illegally and was always on the verge of being shut down. There was never a lack of visitors. Poor women, just like Mom. Rose, you are a miracle worker. I don't have any money today. Will this do? Homemade cupcakes? I'll take it. I loved helping my mom. I was good at makeup and hoped to get into the New York Fashion Academy. I wanted to prove myself and the whole world that I can make something out of myself, even though my own father had walked out on me. One morning, we were working in our basement paradise as usual when a gorgeous lady walked into the salon. Everything about her screamed status and money. Sorry, I think you have the wrong address. I started from the bottom too. I like to give chances to those who work hard. My name is Miriam. She said her name like it belonged on the cover of Vogue, printed in gold letters. Then she sat down in a chair and asked for light makeup. But it's okay, Mom. I will do it. I took my tools and got down to business. But then my phone rang. It was Oliver. Of course it was. His middle name was bad timing. I paused for a second to reject the call. And boom. Miriam got a unibrow. This is a new trend. Are you kidding me? Watch what you are doing. No one is allowed to yell at my daughter. Ginger is talented, but she's still learning. Mom quickly fixed my mistake while I was mentally waving goodbye to my career as a makeup artist. Miriam glared at me like she wanted to crush me with a stiletto heel and stormed out of the salon. I called Oliver back. Sorry, I was busy. What is it? Come outside, I'll show you something. Ta-da! I bought a van. Wanna go for a ride? The van looked like it had survived a zombie apocalypse and at least one fight with a transformer. But Oliver was glowing with happiness, like he'd bought a new Mustang. I agreed and got in because it was Oliver, my best friend since we were kids. A bad day? Yep. And the cops came again. That was the cherry on top. They want to shut down our salon. If only Dad hadn't left us. I never knew my father. My mom never tried to trick me into thinking he was like an astronaut or a secret agent. She told me the truth from the start. Once upon a time, my mom and Dad were young, poor, and madly in love. Dad got a job at a tech company when Mom was expecting. Sounds sweet, right? Except soon my mom saw Dad with his assistant, some girl named Lizzie. Mom packed up her things and moved to the outskirts of town. He didn't even try to get her back. Can you imagine? When I was born, Mom sent him an email. He replied that he wanted nothing to do with me, but would pay child support. My father did not even want to see his own daughter. That's why I never tried to meet him either. To him, I was just a mistake he made when he was young. We had been driving for a while when the car suddenly stalled. Oops, I think I forgot to gas up. Oliver. We had to push his tin can on wheels to the nearest gas station. A couple of days later, a courier brought us another handout from my father, the so-called child support. Mom was usually the one to take it, but that day, she was busy at the salon. Please sign here. If I give you a tip, could you spit in the face of the man who sends these envelopes? He works for some serious company. He doesn't send these envelopes, his secretary does. I turned the envelope over. Indeed, there was no name on it, only an address and a logo of the company called Caldwell Labs. After the courier left, I googled the company. It turned out to be a tech company founded by Henry Caldwell, a brilliant inventor who created a smart mirror with built-in AI. The mirror could choose the makeup and hairstyles that would suit the person looking into it. It could also give tips on skincare. On the homepage of their website, there was a photo of a handsome man hugging his wife, who looked like Barbie. I had heard the name Henry Caldwell before. That gave me pause. It was my father's name, but if he was a billionaire genius, why was he sending us so little money? I burst into the salon and almost knocked a woman in hair rollers over. Mom, did you know that Dad's rich? Ginger, hush. Hush! He's a billionaire. A billionaire! I guessed from the logo on the envelopes that Henry had made a fortune. When we were dating, he was an ordinary guy. He founded his company after we broke up. We should demand more money from him. Oh, baby. Sometimes it's better to leave the past in the past. Rich people really don't like sharing their money. I was about to keep arguing when the salon door opened. Rose, this is your final warning. You need to get a better place and a license for your salon. I can't afford it. Sorry, Rose. There's nothing else I can do for you. The cop handed over the warning notice and left. I realized that I had to find Henry Caldwell and make him pay for everything. I asked Oliver to give me a ride to the city center. It took a few tries, but the van started, and we were on our way. However, after a couple of blocks, the Marvel on wheels stalled because Oliver had forgotten about the gas again. If you think about it, it. It's like a free gym. Sure, push the clunker, get a cardio workout for free. When we finally gassed up and got to the right address, I almost fell over. The Caldwell Labs building was towering above us like a shining castle. The security guard did not want to let us in, of course. We are here for an internship. Why haven't I heard anything about it? We are being tested for quick thinking. You are part of the test. It worked. Once we were in, Oliver immediately ran off to look for a bathroom because he had drunk too much soda at the gas station, and I came up to the secretary. Excuse me, I'm looking for Henry Caldwell. He doesn't accept visitors. I'm his daughter. Mr. Caldwell doesn't have children. Are you going to leave on your own or should I call security? Plan A failed. It was time for Plan B. Then I pulled a small surprise out of my pocket. A mouse from our salon. Hit it, Beyonce! The secretary shrieked and ran away. I tried to get close to her computer to find out my father's home address, but then, Mrs. Foster, what's with all the noise? It's all her! This lunatic claims she's your daughter! My heart skipped a beat when I looked at my father. My emotions were all over the place. I wanted to burst into tears and also ask him, why did you leave us? Instead, I showed him the envelope. I'm Ginger, and my mom is Rose Watson. You've been sending us money. It's obvious you're loaded, yet you're giving us pennies in child support. His face turned white as snow. He swayed and sank into the couch. Water. All these years, I've been mourning my child, and now you're standing in front of me? We went to his gorgeous office. He tried to hug me, but I moved away. Don't even think about it. Okay, just listen to my side of the story. Very well. Surprise me. He said that years ago he loved my mother, but he was shown evidence that she was planning to sell his inventions to his competitors. He was gutted. Lizzie hugged him to comfort him, and that was when Mom saw them and left. I was angry at Rose and didn't go after her. After some time, she sent me an email saying she had lost the baby during childbirth and asked me not to look for her. Wait, if you thought I was dead, why did you send child support? Child support? I didn't send you any money. What do you mean? A courier brings us these envelopes every month. He said that your secretary orders these deliveries. Dad frowned and turned his head towards the door. Mrs. Foster, please come in. I know you're eavesdropping. Who ordered you to give the envelopes with money to the courier? The woman stayed silent for a long time. Dad was getting impatient. If you don't answer me right now, you're fired. Okay, it was Lizzie. She said if I blabbed, she would turn my life into a living hell. Lizzie? Your assistant? Dad paled and nodded. Then he added gloomily, my assistant and my wife. My heart sank. At that moment, Lizzie herself walked into the office. Henry, honey, I'm so tired from shopping. Who's that Cinderella next to you? This is my daughter. Why did you make me think she died? She didn't even flinch, only looked at me like I was a stain on her shoes. Seems like I should fire your secretary. Dad demanded an explanation. Lizzie didn't look guilty. On the contrary, she seemed proud of the web of lies she had spun all those years ago when she was still working as my father's assistant. When I saw your designs, I immediately realized you would soon become rich and famous. Henry, I knew I had to have you, so I forged evidence of Rose's betrayal. Then I made sure she would see us together. I had access to your computer after all. When Rose sent you an email about your daughter, I changed it to make you think your child had died. Then I sent Rose a reply saying you wanted nothing to do with your daughter. I was sending child support every month so she wouldn't look for you. It was measly, but a pathetic loser like her was probably happy about it anyway. I wanted to tear out her perfect hair, but my father grabbed my hand and led me out into the hallway. Ginger, you need to cool down. She ruined our lives. Because of Lizzie's lies, I've hated you all my life. But now everything will change, right? Will you and Mom get back together? Ginger, I'm not going to divorce Lizzie. Why? Everything is too complicated. If we get a divorce, we have to divide our assets. I would lose a lot. Lizzie's parents are powerful people. They invested in my company. I don't want to make enemies of people like them, but I will help you and your mom. With angry tears streaming down my face, I pushed him away. I don't want any money from a coward like you. I ran downstairs to Oliver, who was waiting for me. How'd it go? Hey, why are you crying? Let's get out of here. I'll tell you on the way. At home, I threw my arms around Mom and told her everything. I told you, the past should stay in the past. Now I get that. However, I was still fuming. The next day, I grabbed my phone and filmed our decrepit apartment. I'm the daughter of billionaire Henry Caldwell. Look at the conditions I have to live in. Then I went down to our salon and filmed the mousetrap cages and leaking pipes there. Here's where the billionaire's daughter has to work. I posted that video on YouTube to humiliate my father. That coward called me the next morning. How did you get my number? I can find out anything I want. Ginger, you need to delete that video. It could ruin everything I've worked for. Maybe it should be ruined. You must answer for your cowardice. The next day, my world was turned upside down. Cops suddenly arrested my mom. Let her go! There were paparazzi with cameras all around us. My dad and Lizzie Lizzie got out of an expensive car. "It's okay, sweetie, the nightmare is over." "What's going on?" My father hugged me in front of the cameras. Lizzie, beaming at the paparazzi, hissed in my ear, "Our lawyer has already taken care of everything. Your little video? It was obviously a cry for help. As for your mom, she hid you from your father, kept you in that shabby apartment, and made you work in her mouse burrow. You poor thing." Those bastards! They lied about everything. I wanted to run to my mom, but Dad grabbed my arm and pushed me into his car. "From now on, I am your legal guardian. You will be staying here." You should have created a mirror that shows people when they turn into monsters. I decided I would not sit by and do nothing. During the day, I explored every corner of their luxurious apartment, looking for everything that could be used against them. I even brought Oliver in at night. We were sneaking around like two idiots in a spy movie. Oliver tripped over a vase, and the crash reverberated through the apartment. "Ginger, if you keep this up, your friend will end up behind bars, just like your mother." My breath caught in my throat, but I couldn't risk Oliver and sent him home. While closing the doors behind him, I accidentally overheard a quiet conversation between Lizzie and my father. "Sooner or later, she will sniff something out. We need to get rid of her. Let's send Ginger to a boarding school." I clenched my fists. No one would put me in a cage. I had to escape and free my mom. I waited until Lizzie and Dad fell asleep and tried to leave early the next morning. But then, the door suddenly opened and a rich elderly couple walked into the apartment. I almost choked when I recognized Miriam. She recognized me too. "You're the last person I expected to see here." "Oh, Mom, Dad, what a surprise." Silence. We leave for a month, and as soon as we get back, the first thing we hear is that our family is involved in a scandal. Mind explaining to me what's going on here? Quickly, before Dad or Lizzie could shut me up, I told them the whole truth, that I was Henry's daughter, that he and Lizzie had slandered my mom to save their reputation. Miriam listened to my every word like she was trying to see right through me, and then she said coldly, "I see." After that, she and her husband just turned around and left. Dad and Lizzie kept me under house arrest and made sure I wouldn't run away or talk to anyone until Mom's trial. On the day of Mom's trial, I saw Oliver in the courtroom, but my father wouldn't even let me greet him. What followed me was a total circus. The judge listened to the prosecution's side, and it seemed like Mom was about to be sent to jail. But then, the defense lawyer said that they had a new witness. "Your Honor, I happened to meet Rose Watson. She protected her daughter like a lioness and raised her well. Ginger is brave and honest. However, I must have raised my daughter poorly because Lizzie was ready to ruin lives for the sake of her ambitions." People started to whisper. The judge was listening attentively, and I was mentally screaming, "Yes, go Miriam!" My daughter and her husband slandered Ginger's mother for the sake of their reputation. I know what I'm talking about. I'm their business partner. Mr. Caldwell supplied my network of beauty salons with smart mirrors, but I think it's time to terminate our contract. Miriam's words changed everything. The charges against my mom were dropped. Lizzie and my father were accused of slander. We left the courthouse and I ran to Mom. We both cried, but those were tears of joy. "I wish I had a granddaughter just like you, Ginger." I smiled and waved Oliver over. "Is this your boyfriend?" "You know, he's my bro." "Exactly. Since I'm no longer investing in Henry's company, maybe I could help you open a new salon. On one condition, nothing over the top or flashy. I want my old clients to feel at home there. Let's sit down in a restaurant and discuss details. Where did I park my car? My limo is at your service, ladies." Oh no, we should walk. Soon, we finally opened a proper beauty salon. I don't have a luxurious home or millions, but I have my mom, friends, and a dream. That means I'm richer than many billionaires. And I don't need a smart mirror to know that I'm glowing.